Hello, everyone. This is Snack from Crow's Nest, and today I'm joined by my teammate, Fitz. Say hello. So, for today's video, Fitz just got done taking out 4 members of the team X2 drop in our Team versus Team Iron, and he did it using X-Sabers, which is a deck that not many people play, and it's something that I think lots of people can learn about, whether you plan on playing it or just playing against it. And so we have Fitz here to talk about his deck, what inspired him to build it this way, what are some general philosophies for it. So, what were your main influences in your building of this deck?
Yeah, so this has been through a decent amount of iterations. I probably started playing the deck seriously, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 months ago. And there really weren't any good lists, I thought, to go off of from like the edisonformat.com library. My first inspiration to play the deck was actually you suggesting it because I really liked playing my Flameville zombies, and you're like, you know what, X-Sabers are a similar style of play. You could have fun doing that, and I was like, sure, I'll check them out. And then, in our Iron Man against Ring of Destruction, obviously, Mika obviously had a great run against us where he took out what I think 5 of us with his own X-Saber build. Um,
And we'll be linking the video from Mika. It's on Randage's channel. If you check the description, I'll have a link there for the video where Mika did well against us in the Team Iron.
Yeah, the Team v Team Irons apparently is where they shine. But that kind of gave me the confidence that they were a force to be reckoned with. And there were certain things about his list I agreed with and disagreed with um, after playing. And yeah, essentially, after testing a decent bit, this is ultimately what I landed on. I opted for more of a, bit more of a like back and forth, interactive, more traditional build than his triple bribe, 777 tools. Like I'm just gonna pull off my play no matter what at whatever cost. And then just hope to win from there. Whereas mine's a little more, trying to stick floaters and then trying to ultimately develop my board and go for my push at some point during the game. And so I guess we'll just start with the monster lineup, having talked through all that. So Mika's actually the one that for the monk package was on 1 Raikou. I was originally on 2, and after testing, I was like, you know what? Yeah, you never want to draw Raikou. But you kind of do want a 4th cat target in case you do draw 2 of them and then it's just dead. Um, so, Raikou is just kind of the best of the bunch for having that 4th cat target and then also having the flexibility to, if you just hard draw, if you draw a cat and you ever just need a level 5, usually Cataster, then having the Raikou in deck can be nice. Or even just, say you already have a level 3 on board, like Ember's Blade, being able to go cat into Raikou plus Bellum to make a Stardust can sometimes win you games in certain matchups, like Hero Beat or Glad Beasts can be where those really shine. So, yeah, I think 4 cat targets was a good call. Obviously, the 3 Air Bellum and then the 1 Raikou was a nice addition. And, drawing it is not the worst, obviously. Like, Raikou can still be useful to out certain things, but typically you always want to be using your normal summon on an X-Saber in this deck. So that's why we cut it down from 1 to 2. Oh, yeah, it's from 2 to 1, sorry. And then, I forget, I don't even know if Mika was on any rat, which I strongly disagree with. I was on 2 rat for a while and upped it to 3 recently, actually, prior to this Iron Man. There's just a lot of game states where, you need to have an X-Saber live a turn. And obviously the easiest way to do that, especially in like relatively simplified game states, is to just stick a floater that your opponent can't out. And I just felt like there's a lot of times where like the best card to draw was Emmer's Blade or Giant Rat when I like had a Fall Troll in hand or had a Gotham's E-Call where, I need a Saber and or a floater to draw into to make it live. And just having the max out floaters and just like force your opponent to have multiple removals for them. Otherwise I go off. Just felt really nice. There was a lot of times, say you open like Gotham's E-Call plus Fall Troll plus one floater. If that floater gets Caiused or something, all of a sudden you have two dead cards in your hand, and you know you really want to draw into another one that can hopefully get run over or just stick on the board, so you can start building your combos. Because X-Sabers, they're going to lose in a scenario where all your summons get answered right away. So you just kind of want to have as many and force your opponent to have as many forms of removal as possible to stop you from getting your two X-Sabers on board and doing your thing.
Awesome. So in the Mika list, there were a whole bunch of counter traps, Dark Bribe, Seven Tools, but I see that you didn't go with that in your deck. What was your reasoning for that decision?
My general deck building philosophy on why think like I just think actual traps are usually the way to go is that decks have gotten more and more unfair as Edison's got more refined, and you can't just let them do what they want to do. I mean, you kind of can. Like X-Sabers, you could go all in on just like, all right, I'm just gonna let you do my thing and then trust my plays are more unfair. But again, because went with more of a hybrid builds, I just felt like I needed some interaction. Like, if I'm just letting zombies do their thing against me, they're just gonna like blow through my floaters and stuff like that. And I felt like I needed more interruption than just like bribes and seven tools for back row. So I decided to go with more of a hybrid approach. And then post board, I can side in extra back row hate against like really back row heavy decks, and then side in like extra traps or utility cards against decks that are more focused on like stringing together like monsters or combos to remove my floaters and out my boards and stuff like that. So I kind of just went with a middle ground approach. And in general, one, I think Dark Bribe is just a bad card. I've said that before a lot. Like there are times where it can seal games, but in general, it's a bit optimistic and just goes -1 a lot of the time, which is a big deal in Edison format where it's hard to generate +1s. So I was kind of out on that. And then in general, I thought there were some applications where seven tools were better, where seven tools was better than trap stun, but they were few and far between. It was specifically like if your opponent chained Royal Oppression to like me activating Gotham's E-Call, but you can kind of play around that. And in all other scenarios, I thought Trap Stun was just better because you can disable whatever the problem card is, unless it's Solemn Judgment, in which case, oh well, they have the one of. You can negate the problem card and then disable their other back row to just pick off with either Arcanite Magician or Hyunlei. And similarly, why I thought Cold Wave was just kind of better. Like, just stop all the back row, and now you're free to do your thing. So I thought the ratio of just having the three sweepers of Heavy Storm, Cold Wave, and one Trap Stun, like you're usually seeing one of those over the course of like a medium length game. So just draw into one of those to hopefully enable your big push. And if you feel like you need additional back row hate, just side into another trap stun or dust tornadoes post board. Was kind of my thinking.
Yeah, as you know, I'm a very big fan of Trap Stun too. I have it in a lot of my lists when they die to deck dev or something, which is another thing that Sabers might want to negate. So I guess my last question is, why do you like the one Ragigura? How'd you settle on just one?
Yeah, so I've seen anywhere from like 0 to 3 Ragagora from the limited lists I've perused. Uh, I think having the one in deck makes sense 'cause it's your worst X-Saber to draw by a decent margin. But having it in deck is pretty important, especially if you're going with the three fall trolls as I am, and I think you should be because you need to. Out While it can be bricky at times, you need to just have the ability to find your power cards and do unfair things with this deck, and that's one of the most unfair ones when it goes off. And having the Ragagura in deck can, it lets you add back Fall Troll, which can just be a +2 if unstopped, as well as giving you the option to do your infinite hand loop. But then even if you have like a Fall Troll in hand and an Ember's Blade on board and no other sabers, when your Ember's Blade dies, you can bring out the Ragagora, use Ragagora to add back a saber from your grave, normal summon that one, and now you have two on board again. So because of all those interactions, I thought it was necessary, but I didn't really want to run more than one. because it is a brick in a deck that can be bricky at times.
Well, I appreciate you sharing your knowledge with us. And do you want to get some games and we can talk about the deck in action?
Sure thing. Sounds good. Alrighty. Good luck.
Good luck. Okay. I have an interesting hand.
Alrighty. Let's see here.
What do you think is like the ideal start for Sabers? Going first.
Going first about what I'm doing here. Just T-set, get a monster in play, and then depending on what the opponent does, and depending on what my hand is, just figure out how to best set up for either a combo that turn or in future turns. A lot of the X-Saber piloting is making sure that you time your combo push well, because Sabers don't really do well in a simplified game state at all. If you get into a top decking war, the X-Saber player is just going to lose. So you really want to use your cards in tandem with each other. And if you're expending all your cards and it gets interrupted in a key way, and then you're just stuck with, tuners or fall troll in hand that need other things to make them work, then you're just going to be in a lot of trouble. So, basically just like playing through things, trying to stick some floaters, make your opponent work and expend the resources before ultimately going for the big combo push when you think the odds are best in your favor. So again, it kind of depends on the game state, but let's see here. I am going to start off with one of these.
I'll allow it.
I'm also going to try one of these.
I'll allow that as well.
What do we got here?
This is going to be rough.
That is what I was hoping for. All right, we are going to summon this guy and activate his effect.
You got me. This is brutal. And you hit a saber. That's pretty good. Generally. Oh yeah, okay.
And we're
Wow,
gonna
this
summon
is
this.
bad. This is really, really bad.
And you having no back row when I have this is going to end poorly for you.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is a tough one. What could your set card be? Giant rat. Okay.
Let's see here. How exactly do we want to do this?
Now it's big brain combo time.
Yeah, now it's figure out the best way to play around Gore's time, because that's all I really care about, more or less. Let's see here. Let me do some quick math. Okay, I think we'll just do this.
I'll crow that.
Oh, the main deck Crow.
Yeah.
Rude. So that is barely not game now after the main deck Crow. Very rude.
I try. Crow is interesting with sabers because like you can't hit the Fulham Knight in the damage step, but it stops e-call,
Yeah.
it stops fall troll, so and like you can preemptively crow something if they're attacking with fall troll, which is nice. Oh, well, that's not good. That's not good. Which card would you like?
I'll discard this one.
There he goes. Yeah, I'm dead. Okay.
And that was the power of Sabers opening the nuts and being able to eliminate the opponent's back row.
Yeah. Minecon on Raikou. I almost didn't want to set it because I know it's so rough, but I'm like, okay, I have Mirror Force at least, so it's not terrible. Bottomless doesn't do much against you until you've already like committed. So it's like
No,
normally
like setting Raikou, especially when I have a back row on board, is it's completely fine unless I have the one of mind control, in which case it's not completely fine.
Yeah, it's tough.
Sometimes you get sacked.
Indeed.
Um, so I saw Raiko and a couple trap cards. Let's see here. We're just gonna go with something like this.
What do you think about quick draw in general as a matchup for Sabers?
Um, so uh I think Volcanic Quick Draw has a much stronger matchup than traditional Quick Draw. Um, the like you've mentioned it before, but Rocket having 1400 defense is actually a legit, like, very good thing to have. It prevents me from Book of Mooning or level limit area being it, and being able to get my full helm effects off.
Mm-hmm.
And then more importantly, the Blaze Accelerator is extremely good because X-Sabers are all about hitting that two monster on board threshold, which they try to do via their battle recruiters. Um, I play triple Ember's Blade and triple Rat to try to keep monsters on board so I can ultimately go for, fall troll pushes or like make a Hinley, kill your back row, flip e-call, make my push there type of thing. So
Right.
clearing the recruiters is super important, and accelerator plus shells and avarice just gives you a lot of fuel to deal with that. The negatives are that X-Sabers deal with stuff like Raiko extremely efficiently due to full Helm Knight, and in general, like, lower defense decks like Quick Draw can be really tough because Sabers, when they open well and their combos are uninterrupted, are just, they can do some of the most unfair things in Edison when they have the right combo of cards. And so Raiko and then Dandelion and Dandelion tokens as well give the Saber player full Helm Knight fuel, which is a big deal. So
Right.
I
Yeah, quick
don't.
draw not
I've
having too many like chainable traps. Like normally quick draw lists are running things like Mirror Force, Dimensional Prison, Bottomless, Torrential. And it's
yeah.
like you can kind of guess when those are happening. So it's not like Black Wings where you have to fear an Icarus at any time or a Wing Blast or something. Those are a lot more difficult
Yeah,
for.
Dimensional Prison's kind of mid against Sabers because a lot of times Kinlay or Arcanite Magician are just gonna play around that card when they can. So I drew well again.
Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, okay. So this is just like your performance in the Iron against X2.
Yeah, this deck certainly is a lot better when you open Cat or Monk. Yeah, it's just the most efficient way to get two X-Sabers both in play and in the graveyard for future e-call turns.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, you're not going to have it every time, and that's when you need to rely on battle recruiters hitting the grave to keep your board presence and get your grave set up.
Mm-hmm.
But between Sangan, Monk, and Cat, like, you can usually find one of the three. Obviously, it's better to just open the Monk or Cat, but the Sangan helps too, where you're finding it at least a reasonable amount of the time. But obviously, you know, having it right off the bat with your combo
Oh
piece
my
enabler like Fall
god.
Troll
Oh my
is
god.
pretty vicious.
Oh my god. That is vicious to say the least. Okay. Yep.
May I use this effect?
What are you targeting?
This guy.
Yeah, that's fine. The only target in your grave. Yeah, okay. You're good. Uh, well, I will use the gores. Thinking on everything. Yeah, I'll just drop them both in defense. And what
All
do
right,
you,
and then I will discard this card. Ooh, a Starlight Road. Okay, we'll kill a token. Main phase 2, we'll use Arcanite to pop. And do I want to make Gotems? Or do I want to leave the Fall Troll in play? That's the thing too. There are a lot of scenarios where leaving the Fall Troll in play and other X-Sabers can be better than just ripping random cards out of the opponent hand. For instance, in this scenario, I could synchro into Gothams and then tribute off the Bellum that would die anyway to discard a card. But it provides like no real additional pressure. Also plays harder into brain control, which obviously is a one of, but still a card. Whereas if I don't synchro here and just leave the Fall Troll and Bellum in play, the Fall Troll once per turn bring back a monster effect can add a ton of pressure really quickly. So depending on what the Saber's other cards are and what you anticipate the opponent having, it's not always correct to just go for Gothams every time. After saying that, I will though. But definitely just don't automatically do it and assume it's correct. I do think there's some thought in what applies the most pressure to your opponent.
Yeah. There's like one card in my deck that helps me here. And I just drew it.
Is it the brain control?
It is not the brain control. It is Lightning Vortex.
Oh, that is a good card, I will say. I do have this card though.
That's not good for me. And with that, I'll end my turn. I cited that in because you can Sabers often have those like annoying boards full of battle recruiters, and you just like, or in like Full Hub Night, and it's just like I just want to get these things off the board, but they're also good when you get comboed on.
Definitely a fair include.
Well, at least you're down to 400. Oh, awesome stuff. Yeah, I'll take 5100.
I'm gonna switch the Arcanite to defense.
Okay,
attacking.
I'll get 400 back. There might be a way for this to be okay.
Sure.
It could be anything. I just sat face down there. Don't normal summon anything, please. Especially not a Full Home Knight.
Yeah, I'm gonna summon this Full Home Knight.
Okay, let's see. Let's just demonstrate. Okay, so I will... What should I even hit? I will target this Airbellum.
Oh no.
And I'll
Whatever
mill 3.
will I do?
No tokens, unfortunate.
Well, we'll activate its effect and kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so I think that that was pretty good.
There's definitely a wide disparity in Saber hands in terms of the power and quickness of which they can exploit their power.
Yeah.
Both these games I had Cat plus Fall Troll, which is about as good as you can ask for in terms of being able to quickly combo and apply pressure to the opponent. It's not always going to go like that, but this kind of shows when it does go like that, just how unfair they can be and quickly put your opponent into really bad situations. My guess is that these games will not go as smoothly for me, but we shall see.
We will see. We played another match previously where I was playing the Volcanic package and Decree, and it went a lot better for me.
Yeah, but then Snack had an issue with recording her audio, so it was just me talking into the abyss, which it's pretty funny. But yeah, those games those games I opened a lot worse, drawing tuners and garnets and all that other stuff. And then obviously, like as I mentioned before, the Volcanic package gives a lot more tools to deal with what X-Sabers are trying to do. So
all right. Is this okay?
What are you discarding?
Well, you have to decide if you want to negate.
I'm not responding to the effect in hand.
Okay. I'm going to pay 500.
Sure.
I'm going to normal summon Shell.
That is fine by me.
Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and make drill.
Yep,
And
that
I'll
is a
search
play.
another shell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting
Seems
my
good.
life points nice and low. And I will activate the effect to banish.
Okay.
And I will set 2 cards.
2 cards. Whoa.
Yeah. And in your standby, I'll activate Trap Dust Shoot.
That is a good card. I would not like you activating that.
That did worry me. All right.
And and that's why I'd play the one main deck trap stun. I really like I think I mentioned it in the deck building section, but I think heavy plus wave plus 1 main deck trap stun, having 3 access to sweepers, I felt like was a really good ratio without going too overkill. But I do, you know, I do really like having those tools to turn off opponent's back row and feel free to do unfair things. And speaking of,
Uh-oh. Not again. Not again.
it is time to think. I believe it is boom
Mm-hmm.
and summon this guy.
All right.
You have a Book of Moon.
I will not be activating anything in response to the Arabellum summon.
Okay. I would like to summon this dude.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I will synchro summon. Actually, we're gonna play around Gores a bit and attack while that back row is still there.
All right. Pick a
I'm gonna
card.
discard
Any
this one.
card.
Yeah, I was 200 short. I went for Goyo plus bring back Bellum. Okay, so I'm not bad. All right, main phase 2. We will summon Kinley and kill your card.
Would have been nice if that trap stun hadn't been a thing. You know, I actually realized that I made a mistake. But I'll talk about
Did
it
you now?
after. I'll talk about it after.
Okay, and now we're gonna bring back Ember's Blade. And this is a scenario where I could have brought back Bellum and made Gothams, but I like having Faltral Pressure and 2 other monsters on board versus 2 cards than 1 beater versus 1 card
Mm-hmm.
and drill. I think this is a bit awkward for opponent to clear. In general, you want to keep Sabers on board too, so you can, you know, any additional fall trolls or e-calls you draw can have the Sabers in play to activate. I think this is fine.
I guess I'll add shell.
Okie dokie.
That was probably a mistake too.
You can add back quick draw if you'd rather.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's add the quick draw. Let's try and run over Hyunle. Nice.
You
And
have
then
succeeded.
we're gonna have to do this, which sucks.
Okay.
Had the Gores, I should have activated Torrential, even though it was gonna get negated, just to put Gores live.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, if I mean it would have telegraphed Gores, but I should have activated Torrential when you summon the Faltral because I knew I wasn't gonna. I knew I was gonna take a bunch of damage and get stuff ripped out of my hand, and so if I had just taken the loss on the Torrential, I might have gotten Gores and saved some life points and gotten board presence and stuff. But now you just bring something back with Faltral.
Indeed. Yeah, so what are your thoughts on this?
That's fine. I'll allow it.
Okay. That's good news. We'll use the effect.
Mm-hmm.
Beow.
Yeah, I think getting Shell there is a mistake because you can just hit over it with Emmer's Blade, so at least I force you to use something big to hit over a quick draw with. And it's not like Gores is doing anything. You have so much, like you can just hit with Fall Troll and kill me once, so like Gores isn't going to do anything. So discarding it to summon the quick draw makes some sense, but I lose anyway, because that's 400 plus 1600 with the... Yeah.
Yeah.
You got me. It was Avarice, so I could have maybe gone Drill Crash into Fall Troll, Quick Draw Suicide into Qianlei, and then activate Avarice. That was a line I could have maybe done.
But I guess that still would not have ended well for you, because part of the reason I left the Ember's Blade on board was that I had Ragagura in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were able to clear the Fall Troll, i.e. like crashing Drill or something,
Mm-hmm.
I'd still have the Saber on board, summon Ragagura, add back the Fall Troll, and go back to doing my thing.
I think we're doing a good job of showing off why Sabers are strong.
Definitely. I mean, as I mentioned, I think traditional quick draw is one of my better matchups. It helps when I draw well, but you know, the quick draw deck is how you beat Sabers is by having lots of removal, or just in general a decent amount of ways to stop them or apply pressure and keep them from getting multiple Sabers in play for their combos involving Fall Troll and Gotham Z-Call. And the quick draw deck is kind of a control deck and doesn't tend to do a lot of those things. Like, it also doesn't play Royal Oppression, doesn't play Icarus Attack, which can be, chainable removal like that is just really, really effective at stopping what the deck is trying to do. And as I mentioned, like, when this deck is not stopped, I think its ceiling competes with just about any deck in Edison. All right, now did you do the old rope-a-dope charge and then set something besides Raikou? Is the question. Let's activate this card. I will normal summon Full Helm Knight.
Yeah. I will mill only.
Okay. Yeah, and Full Helm being able to clear Raikous for free is such an awesome interaction to have. I think I'm just going to end on that.
Do you have Crow?
I do not. You may shuffle all 5 of your monsters back. Pot of Greed, pretty good.
Good card. All right. Let's do that.
Mm-hmm. Thing tells me you would not set another Raikou into this. Just a hunch.
Maybe I made a brain fart.
I think I still need to attack in. If it's hamster, so be it.
It is hamster.
I will, however, use this card.
Okay. Not a fan of what seems to be happening. Are you going
Let's
to?
go ahead and boom.
Rude.
And then we'll do this.
That really looks like e-call to me. And the annoying thing is I can't, like, do much. It could be book, but I think it's e-call, so we're gonna heavy that. Oh, it was book. Damn. Unfortunate for me. Let's just hit this card. That's what I thought.
We'll use that effect to bring out a dude. Let's bring out another one of these guys.
All right. That's acceptable.
Okay, but is this acceptable?
Oh my god. Yeah, that'll work. Mm-hmm. I'll take 300.
I guess you do get to search Battle Fader here, huh?
That is what I will do. Where is he? There he is.
That is pretty good.
That's why you play the one of.
All right, your hand is safe for now.
Well, you could go into like a Heal Knight and then Gothams if you wanted to, and then tribute off your Gothams. That seems like a great play to me.
It is just make the dude, I think.
All right. You are going to make Gothams, yeah. Okay.
I'd rather just have the student play than one Emerald Blade since both Bellums are dying anyway.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Would you care to Caius me into oblivion?
Depends on if I have Kai's in my hand, doesn't it? I really feel like there's an annoying pulling the rug, but all my plays are stopped by pulling the rug. I will target this card. Let's go.
Owie.
And no e-call either, which means this has got to be like book or something. It's not solemn. It's not e-call. It's not rug. So, well, that's my turn.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
If DB will stop lagging,
Mm-hmm.
it is e-call.
It is e-call. Okay, interesting. Yeah, you just didn't want to lose another saber. Fair enough. Make Goyo and then rip a card with Bellum. Take my Caius, all that jazz.
That was what I was thinking, yeah. That was what I was thinking. Seems good.
No response.
I'll take this one. We'll call it a turn.
All right. Let's see. I think I've got to do this.
Would that be a Raikou? By chance?
You know, I guess I'll just have to find out.
Let's find out.
Oh my god. Let's not find out yet. I want it to be a surprise.
Oh, I see. But what if we don't find out if I just activate this card?
Okay, yeah. There's a good chance I die. That's fine. I don't have Crow. Pick whatever you want.
Special summon these guys.
Yeah. uh, Yeah, that's pretty bad. Too bad you don't have a way to make like Stardust or something. Not that it matters. Oh, actually, you have Brio, so never mind.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make this guy. Seems good.
Gore's time. You got it. Yeah.
GG's.
If only I had a level 3. I actually used Avarice there. Um, I was kind of hoping you had Crow there because then I could debris and Black Rose your board free of the Crow, but I don't know. Maybe I should have just gone for the debris.
Yeah, the debris to Black Rose would have probably helped you there, killing the Gothams and E-Call.
I drew all monsters off the Avarice too, which sucked.
That's tough.
I set the Raikou on turn 1 because I wanted to fuel the Avarice and make it not just a dead card, and then of course,
Mm-hmm.
like, didn't even draw many good things off the Avarice, so that was trouble. Yep.
Sometimes it do be like that.
It do be.
I definitely drew pretty well, but hopefully that helps show YouTube what X-Sabers are really about.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, for those that are interested in picking up the deck, it does have a bit of a steep learning curve. And there are some very tough matchups that are relevant in the meta. You know, Blackwings and Gladiator Beasts and decks like that, which have a lot of ways to stop you and force you into simplified game states where you each have limited cards and are top decking. Those are scenarios the X-Saber player wants to really avoid. So drawing your back row sweepers like Cold Wave and Trap Stun are extra important in those matchups, and you really have to be careful about when you try to do your combo and what combo you decide to go for. But those are all reasons why I do love piloting the deck. Having those different lines open to you and being able to decide on which ones are the best one makes it really fun.
Yeah, the end board that you end on. You were talking about that before with like do you end on Gothams and stuff, or do you keep the Fall Troll and get that every turn get a +1? The board that you end on definitely matters.
Yeah, definitely.
With that, we've been Snack and Fitz from Coach Nest. Subscribe to everybody. Subscribe to Carpath to see more of Fitz tearing people up with this deck. And I guess that's it. Adios.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Smash that subscribe button and see you later.
See ya.